Okay, today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, Verse 69. Habt ihr gestern alles gelesen, oder?
Wir haben gestern noch die Betriebe.
Ach so, okay, gut. Okay, so it is only, I think what we're going to do today is we're just going to read all the verses, because there are only 3 verses left, and 2 of them have short purports. So we are just going. Oh no, actually, all 3 of them have purports, but we'll just read all of them. Okay. But we'll chant 69 together. Upayam katayishyami. Upayam katayishyami. Tava viprashinushvatat. Ayam yatma bicharaste. Yatastam yahimacharam chiram. Und diese letzte S. Ja. Sadhushu prahitam teja. Prahartu kurute shivam. Upayam katayishyami. Tava viprashinushvatat. Ayam yatma bicharaste. Yatastam yahimachiram. Sadhushu prahitam teja. Praartu kurute shivam. Okay, jemand anders? Vayatam Rajayashami. Ayam Yatma Yatasam Yahimachiram. Sadhusukaritam teja. Artha-durute shivam. Upam katayishyami. Upayam katayishyami. Tava viprashinushvatat. Ayam yatma vicharaste. Yatastam yahimachiram. Sadhushu prahitam teja. Artu kurute shivam. Upayam katayishyami. Tava Ayam yatma vicharaste. Yatastam yahimachiram.
Praitam teja.
Sadhushu prahitam cheja.
Natu kurte shivam.
Shiram. Ich glaube nicht, ist es laut genug, dieser Lautsprecher? Ja, ein bisschen vielleicht. Nur ein kleinen Zack. Alright, word for word. Upayam, the means of protection
The means of protection
in this dangerous position.
in this dangerous position.
Kaya katayishyami,
Adayishyami,
I shall speak to you.
I shall speak to you.
Tava,
Tava,
of your deliverance
of your deliverance
from this danger.
from this danger.
Vipra, O Brahmana, Shrinushva,
Shrinushva,
just hear from me
just hear from me
that what I say.
what I say.
I am this action taken by you.
This action taken by you.
He, indeed,
Indeed,
Atma Abhichara,
Atma-vishara,
self-envy or envious of yourself.
self-envy or envy of yourself.
Your mind has become your enemy.
Your mind has become an
Te,
enemy
for you.
for you.
Yataha,
Yata,
because of whom.
because of who
Tam, to him.
you
Maharaj Ambarish. Yahi,
Yahi,
immediately go.
immediately go.
Machiram,
Machiram,
do not wait even for a moment.
waiting for a moment.
Do not wait even a moment, anyway. Sadhushu,
Sadhushu,
unto devotees.
unto devotees.
Prahitam,
Prahitam,
applied.
applied.
Tejaha,
Teja,
power.
power.
Prahartu,
Prahatu,
of the executor.
of the executor.
Kurute,
Gurute,
does.
does.
Ashivam,
Ashivam,
inauspiciousness.
inauspiciousness.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Brahmana, let me now advise you for your own protection. Please hear from me. By offending Maharaj Ambarish, you have acted with self-envy. Therefore, you should go to him immediately without a moment's delay. One's so-called prowess, when employed against the devotee, certainly harms he who employs it. Thus, it is the subject, not the object, who is harmed. Purport. A Vaishnava is always an object of envy for non-devotees, even when the non-devotee happens to be his father. To give a practical example, Hiranyakashipu was envious of Prahlad Maharaj, but this envy of the devotee was harmful to Hiranyakashipu, not to Prahlad. Every action taken by Hiranyakashipu against his son, Prahlad Maharaj, was taken very seriously by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And thus, when Hiranyakashipu was on the verge of killing Prahlad, the Lord personally appeared and killed Hiranyakashipu. Service to a Vaishnava gradually accumulates and becomes an asset for the devotee. Similarly, harmful activities directed against the devotee gradually become the ultimate cause of the performer's fall down. Even such a great Brahmana and mystic yogi as Durvasa was in the most dangerous situation because of his offense at the lotus feet of Maharaj Ambarish, a pure devotee. Yeah. So, verse 17. Tapo vityacha vipranam nishreyasya kare ube te eva durvinitasya kalpete kartur anyata. For a Brahmana, austerity and learning are certainly auspicious, but when acquired by a person who is not gentle, such austerity and learning are most dangerous. Purport. It is said that a jewel is very valuable, but when it is on the hood of a serpent, it is dangerous despite its value. Similarly, when a materialistic non-devotee achieves great success in learning and austerity, the success is dangerous for all of society. So-called learned scientists, for example, invented atomic weapons that are dangerous for all humanity. It is therefore said, Manina Bushitaha Sarpaha Kim Ashau na Bhayankara. A serpent with a jewel on its hood is as dangerous as a serpent without such jewel. Durvasa Muni was a very learned Brahmana, equipped with mystic power, but because he was not a gentleman, he did not know how to use his power. He was therefore extremely dangerous. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is never inclined towards a dangerous person who uses his mystic power for some personal design. By the laws of nature, therefore, such misuse of power is ultimately dangerous not for society but for the person who misuses it. Not chapter 71, verse 71. Brahmangstatkacha padram te napaga tanayam nripam kshamapaya mahabhagam Tatashantir Pavishyati. O best of the Brahmanas, you should therefore go immediately to King Ambarish, the son of Maharaj Nabaga. I wish you all good fortune. If you can safely satisfy Maharaj Ambarish, then there will be peace for you. In this regard, Madhva Muni quotes from the Garuda Purana. A lot of verses, which I won't read now because it's all in Sanskrit. Let's see if I can use ChatGPT for good to find the translation of these verses. Ein Moment. No, okay. Okay. Okay, we'll see if he can find it. Okay, the verses quoted below under the purport are from the Garuda Purana quoted by Madhva Muni. Okay, so these translation, take it with a little bit of salt, but just so that we know what it says. Even Brahma and millions of other devotees are not equal to even a fraction of Maharaj Ambarish's devotion. Even the Sudarshan disc is not independent of him, because Lord Hari is always under the control of his pure devotee. The Lord glorified Ambarish to increase his fame and to instruct the best of the demigods headed by Brahma. He also did so to bewilder the demons, to condemn the offenses of criticizing devotees, and to establish the supremacy of devotion to Vishnu or Krishna. The qualities of devotion made Ambarish the best among human beings and demonstrated the devotion to Vishnu is and demonstrated that devotion to Vishnu is superior even to the position of Brahma. The chastisement of Durvasa, although he is an expansion of Rudra, was meant to teach everyone and to destroy false pride. So, this is the summary of the verses. And then we continue with the purport. The lesson to be derived from the narration concerning Maharaj Ambarish and Durvasa Muni is that all demigods, including Brahma and Lord Shiva, are under the control of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, when a Vaishnava is offended, the offender is punished by Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. No one can protect such a person, even Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 9th canto, 4th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Ambarish Maharaj Offended by Durvasa Muni. Okay. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Darati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalang Shri Gurun Vaisnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanditangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Right, so interesting verses. Verse 69, O Brahmana, let me now advise you for your own protection. Please hear from me. By offending Maharaj Ambarish, you have acted with self-envy. Therefore, you should go to him immediately without a moment's delay. One's so-called prowess, when employed against the devotee, certainly harms he who employs it. Thus, it is the subject, not the object, who is harmed. Verse 70. For a Brahmana, austerity and learning are certainly auspicious, but when acquired by a person who is not gentle, such austerity and learning are most dangerous. Verse 71. O best of the Brahmanas, you should therefore go immediately to King Ambarish, the son of Maharaj Nabhaga. I wish you all good fortune. If you can satisfy Maharaj Ambarish, then there will be peace for you. So we see in these verses that offending a Vaishnava is very detrimental to your spiritual health. Number two, whatever you employ to harm that Vaishnava is going to come back tenfold to harm you. And the only way is to submit or to ask for forgiveness. Can we think of other examples in the Srimad Bhagavatam where people tried to harm other devotees and that it went completely south? It went completely bad. One is mentioned, Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu.
The Pandava brothers and
Yeah, so the Pandava brothers, they suffered almost all their life, and in the end, all the Kauravas, all 100 sons were killed, and the whole Kaurava army, also the Pandava army, but yes, it did not work out. It worked out very, very badly. Who else?
Wird das Sura? Also, wäre auch dafür geworden? Das war keine Offense, oder?
No. Yeah. Vritrasura, King Chitraketu, he offended. Huh?
Wo die Frau von Shiva auch.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Yeah, Chitraketu. Yeah, Chitraketu offended Shiva, and Parvati cursed him. So that's another thing. Is if someone messes with a woman's husband, then that woman is going to. I have personal experience.
And we also say Bali Maharaj, and he offended kind of the demigods who are also the Buddha. So it's difficult because he was
Indra offended his spiritual master, and he lost his power. Yes. So Indra offended his spiritual master. He was a little bit puffed up, and he kind of threw the garland to the elephant, and the elephant Airavata trampled it, and Brihaspati is like, what? And he took away all his power. The demons, yes, the demons took over the heavenly planets because of it. They got all the power, but Pali Maharaj was, I don't know, I'm not sure if he wasn't really offensive. He wanted to do what Vamanadev told him to do. He's in the family of the demons, so yes, but he was also a great devotee. But that story, that whole thing happened because of an offense against the spiritual master. Marcus, you had your hand up? Ram and Ravana. Yes, Ravana got Ravana kidnapped Sita, and Ram completely obliterated him. Who is the Bhagavatam? Who are the two people speaking and listening to the Bhagavatam? Okay, so what's the story with Parikshit Maharaj? What happened to him?
He also offended in a way the Brahmana because he was thirsty and hungry, and he came to a house of the Brahmana, and the Brahmana was in Samadhi, and he wasn't able to interact with Parikshit Maharaj. He didn't recognize him, so he couldn't give him some water. And Parikshit Maharaj was very angry with him because of that. And it's transcendental anger. Nevertheless, he hung a dead snake around the Brahmana. And then when the little boy of the Brahmana saw that, he was very angry that Parikshit Maharaj never cursed him by some days.
Yeah, so the Brahmana he offended, I can never. There's Sutta Goswami, there's Shukadev Goswami, there's Shaunaka Rishi, and there's Shamika Rishi. I can't. It's too many S's. I can't keep them apart. So Shamika Rishi is the one that is the father of Shringi, another S. So the thing is that yes, this was transcendental because Maharaj Parikshit chased Kali from his domain, and he said Kali, the personification of Kali Yuga, took shelter of Maharaj Parikshit, and he said, and obviously because Maharaj Parikshit was a devotee, he accepted the surrender, and Kali said, but I have to live somewhere. You have to give me a place to live. Maharaj Parikshit told him, okay, you can live where there is animal slaughter, where there's prostitution or illicit sex, where there's gambling, and where there's intoxication. So that's why we have the 4 regulative principles, because we want to stay out of Kali's way. And also where there is gold. Okay, so, and then Kali couldn't find a place to live. He had the permission to live in those places, but because Maharaj Parikshit was such a good emperor, there were no such places in his kingdom. So then, but Kali Yuga had to start. It's part of the whole universal story. So then it's just like Krishna put Arjuna in a very desperate, very confused state. But it's actually Arjuna should never have been confused. But Krishna put him in that state so that he can answer all these questions. Maharaj Parikshit was a king. He doesn't get thirsty and hungry. And when he does get thirsty and hungry, he doesn't get angry about it. I don't know if you know the English word. It's a made up word, but we call it hangry. It's because you get angry because you're hungry. So hangry. Maharaj Parikshit does not get hangry. So he was put into that state by the Lord so that he can get angry. And the Rishi, Shamika Rishi, he was like, okay, dead snake, whatever. He wasn't offended. But his son, so also Maharaj Parikshit immediately after he did that felt extremely bad, and he thought, oh, it's going to come back and bite me, this. He knew that, and he was really, really sorry about it. And Shringi was a 5-year-old Brahmin boy. He had a lot of power. But if you give power to a 5-year-old, just think about it. If you give a 5-year-old a hammer, what's he going to do? He's going to destroy stuff. Or if you give him a power sword, he's going to kill himself. But because 5-year-olds should not be working with power tools. So Shingi was a 5-year-old with Brahminical power, and because he misused that power, just like it said, and he offended Maharaj Parikshit, who was a pure devotee. So Shringi alone caused the downfall of the Brahmana class. And because he gave Kali like a little crack to get into, and that is how Kali Yuga started, because the Brahman class was made impure, or it was what's the word? Corrupted by this little Brahmin boy. So these are examples of how bad it will go for you if you offend the Vaishnavas. Now, and not even Brahman, not even Vishnu can help you. Now we can ask ourselves, sometimes I can definitely think of Vaishnavas that I have not treated as I should have, and I don't know, that's maybe why we suffer, is because of all the offense. It's not maybe, it's definitely, we suffer because we are offensive to people. And the point is that it is so dangerous to be offensive to any other living entity. Maharaj, Krishna says there's all the apparats, there's also jiva apparat. You may not be offensive to any living entity, because number one, living entities belong to Krishna, but also you don't know if that living entity is going to become a devotee at some stage. No? And even if you are offensive to someone that you think, oh, he's just a beggar on the street, but that beggar may become a devotee later, and then Krishna will count your offense against that beggar. So this is a what we will call in English a cautionary tale, a tale of warning. Is do not be offensive to devotees. And we know Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai. We know that devotees are very, very tolerant and very, very forgiving, but Krishna says that he doesn't mind the offenses against himself. If you offend Krishna, Krishna's like, "Ah, okay." But if you offend any of Krishna's devotees, then he becomes angry. And that's why devotees, and so in the second verse is that Prabhupada, or it's explained that whatever you do to a devotee comes back to you. They don't get it, but you get it. Why? Because a devotee is just happy serving Krishna, and he knows that whatever circumstances there is, it's for my benefit. Krishna is my best friend. Everything is cool. So he's untouched by it. Whatever happens, he's untouched by it. And that's why he doesn't get, it's only when you become attached, like Durvasa. Durvasa Muni was attached to his own power, and that's why he got so ticked off. He got angry, and that's how it started. But Ambarish Maharaj, although he was the emperor, he wasn't attached. He was, yeah, okay, I offended, I'm sorry. And so he was untouched by it. So this story tells us, number one, what is our goal? What does the goal look like? The goal for us and our development looks like Ambarish Maharaj, to not get offended. There's a book written, I have it on my Kindle, I haven't finished it yet, but there's a book called Unoffendable. And it is written, where is it? It is written by Brent Hansen. He's a psychologist, and basically the whole book is about not becoming offended when people do stuff to you. He's not a devotee. It's written by someone else. I mean, he's not a active devotee. Let's say there's no difference between non-devotees, and he just so the whole book is about becoming unoffendable, and that's basically what devotees should become. We should just become unoffendable. I know it's extremely difficult, but when we do become offended is when someone else hurts other devotees. For ourselves, no problem. You can do whatever. But for other devotees, then it gets serious. So that's the first goal. Ambarish Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, they went all out when they had to defend devotees, but for themselves, Parikshit also prayed. He prayed that, I know, basically paraphrasing, I know that I've committed a massive offense, and I know that this is going to come back, but I pray that it comes to me. Because the other thing is that if we are offensive towards devotees, it's not just us who suffer, it's our whole family that suffers. The whole family carries the offense. And Maharaj Parikshit's prayer was, please, just me, not my family. Look, just let me suffer. So that's what we pray for, is please, the prayer that we should pray is, please Krishna, engage me in your service. Another prayer that we can pray is, please let me not be offensive to devotees, because that is going to destroy. It doesn't get destroyed, or I don't know. I'm a little bit, I don't know. Krishna always says that whatever you do for him never gets destroyed. Your bhakti bank account it doesn't get destroyed, but it can become frozen, like you can't access it. So, and then we also learn what to do if we are offensive. Is try not to be, but if we are, just ask for forgiveness. And the whole point is not to do it again, because it doesn't help if you ask for forgiveness and then you just carry on doing the same thing. that doesn't help either. So Durvasa Muni is our example of what happens if we become too proud of our own achievements. And if we become proud, then we become offensive. In English, there's a saying, pride comes before a fall. If you become proud, 100% sure, at some stage you're going to fall down. So these 3 verses tell us then what we need to do. We need to try and develop ourselves to become unoffendable and not to be offensive, and also what to do that whatever we do comes back to us. And then also the next chapter will be then, it's called Durvasa Muni's life spared. So he does what he's told, and he goes to Ambarish Maharaj and he asks for forgiveness. So that's the theme of the next chapter. All right, so that's it. Any questions, any comments, any corrections, criticisms? Yes.
How would you recommend?
Oh yeah, I can't really say because I'm still very much offendable. The one thing that helps to become unoffendable is to know that the law of karma basically tells you that you cannot become offended, because whatever happens to you you brought it on yourself over many, many years. I mean, karma is very intricate because it may look like you don't deserve whatever it is that happened to you in this life, but you don't know what you did to deserve it in a previous life. So that's the one thing that, and as devotees, we also know that, number one, Krishna makes our karma lighter. So whatever happens to us, we can think that, thank you, Krishna, it could have been much, much worse. And number two, because we are trying to become devotees, we are trying our best, Krishna sends exactly that. Krishna sends what we need to develop ourselves spiritually. So if we take whatever it is that comes to us that could be possibly offensive towards us, if we take that as a lesson, like if we say, Krishna, what is it that I can learn from this? Then there's no reason to become offended. Then you become actually, thank you. Okay, I've learned something. And then it kind of equals out. But as I said, it's easier said than done. Theoretically, we all know what we should do, but to practice it, it's a little bit difficult. Yes.
Actually, as far as I know, it's not possible to become offensive. There's the example given of trampling an ant. You cannot prevent stuff like that. You cannot see every little ant on the floor and then by mistake you trample them accidentally. So if you do an accidental offense, it doesn't really count, does it? And also
Sometimes.
Also in the karmis, they do rituals against it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know, okay, I cannot become offenseless. Because of that, I do special rituals which will
Counteract. Yeah, you counteract it or you equal it out, yeah.
Yeah, right. And also we do that when we chant Mahamantra.
Yes. So there's a story in the Bhagavatam about a Brahmana. It's the story about how Vidura became Vidura. Because who is Vidura actually? Do you know? Vidura is the younger brother of King Pandu and Dhritarashtra. Who is Vidura actually? Do you know? He is Yamaraj. So how did Vidura become Vidura? How did Yamaraj become Vidura? So there was a Brahmana, the name I can't remember. I don't know if it's actually mentioned, but the Brahmana, as a boy, he accidentally killed an ant with a piece of straw. But he didn't mean it. He didn't even know that he had done it. And then at some stage, the Brahmana, when he was bigger, something happened and he got evicted, he got condemned, and he was going to be, what's the word? He was going to be, I can't think of the word in any of the languages that I know. Anyway, he was impaled, that's the word. He was going to be impaled by a stick or by whatever. And, but luckily the king realized that he's a Brahmana and he got back. But when the Brahmana went to Yamaraj at the end of his life, he's like, that thing, like, I've been offenseless my whole life. I'm Brahmana, I don't do offenses. And Yamaraj told him, no, as a child you did it. And the Brahman's like, what? I didn't even know that I had done that. So he cursed Yamaraj to become Vidura. So I'm not sure. Everything we do, knowing and unknowing, carries karma. But yes, that's why we should constantly pray and you try your best. You try your best to become not offensive towards other living beings. But yes, just by breathing, we kill a lot of entities. But that is why we should always be chanting, because at least then the entities that we harm hear the mantra. But yes, it's difficult.
And also, you could see offenses in a different way. You could see them also as the reaction you get from them. You could also see as a blessing, not as a bad thing. For example, Maharaj Parikshit, when he was cursed by the Brahmin boy, he got to listen to the Bhagavata, which was a huge blessing.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Writes like this in the purport, and that this was actually not a curse; it was a blessing.
Yes, but that should not.
And also, for example, the Kauravas, when they were killed on a battlefield of Kurukshetra, they all were liberated because of it, or
they were liberated. They were liberated because Krishna was present.
They were benefited.
Yes.
So you could also see the blessing of the whole.
Yes, if you get a reaction for your offenses, that's what I've said to you, is if something happens, then yes, you should see it as a lesson and a blessing to become purified. But little Mark, don't think, I can be offensive because the reactions will be a blessing. You have to, with everything in you, you have to avoid trying to be offensive. There's enough offenses that you have to go through. There's enough reaction from the previous offenses that you have to deal with in this life. You don't have to add to them. You don't have to try not to add to them, because that's one of the things that we promise our Guru Maharaj when we become initiated, or when we in any way, shape and form try and follow a spiritual path as a Christian or as a Krishna or whatever, is that the karma gets the karma gets dealt with, but you shouldn't add to it. That's why the Protestantism started, because in the Roman Catholic tradition, you can go ask for forgiveness on a Saturday and then go to church on Sunday, and then mostly they would just continue Monday, Tuesday through Friday to do exactly the same thing. And the Protestantism, what's that? That's not how it's supposed to be. So the point is that if you ask for forgiveness for something, the point is that words are empty. It's the actions that count. not empty, but the point is that there was a once, just to give you a last example, I think it was Mahatma Prabhu that told the story that they were, I think it was a workshop on forgiveness. How do we forgive? And then, no, it wasn't. Anyway, I think the details are a little bit fuzzy, but he was talking to two devotees. One had continuously 1, 2, 3 times done the same thing, and the other devotee then, so again, they asked for forgiveness, and the one devotee that was the victim, you could say, said, "No, I don't accept your apology." And then Mahatma Prabhu was like, "Huh?" And she said, "No, I don't accept it because you don't mean it, because you've done it 3 times, and what's the point? You ask for my forgiveness, and then you just continue doing the thing that you continue hurting me." So the point is, yes, we are in Kali Yuga. We are next to useless. I mean, in comparison to people from Satya Yuga, we are we are in maximum prison. Basically, we've done a lot of things, and our minds are disturbed, and we're weak, and our will is weak, and we have a lot of things going on. But the point is that when we have done an offense, that we should try everything in our power not to do the same offense again. Yes, there will be slip-ups, but Krishna sees the endeavor, and Krishna is merciful, and Krishna knows that we are like 3-year-old children. We don't know how to deal with a hammer. He has to teach us, or he has to take the hammer away. But so that is the point, and it's very important for us to remember that the actions, the sincerity of your apology, or the sincerity of trying to ask for forgiveness, is in what you do next. So yeah, be careful. And we are going to see what Durvasa Muni does. So he's going to be a good example of how. So again, the next chapter is going to be a good example of how a devotee acts and how someone acts who asks for forgiveness. I think that's it. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha.
No, please, Kamala-sita, that's the key.
Srila Gurudev ki jai.